Yo, what's up, guys? Today we are going to be going over some infield that I'm very surprised exists. Because one thing you'll notice about the red pill community, Rolo Tomasi, Fresh and Fit, all those kinds of that whole community, one thing you'll notice, very few of them, if any, have any footage, any receipts showing them have success with women. The only exception might be Andrew Tate, but he's not really a red pill guy. He just kind of used that for marketing purposes, to be quite honest. And the closest thing other than that I can think of is Fresh and Fit, Fresh showing himself how he accidentally got a sugar mama / possible escort pregnant and bought her shit. That's the closest thing you can see to any of these guys showing evidence. So to me, the biggest difference between, say, pickup artists versus dating coaches, which is basically the more, how could you say, the more family friendly version, right? The guys who are like, buy my watch, this cologne will make women love you, the men's health article kind of shit, right? People like, who's a good example? People like Alpha M. And red pill guys is red pill and dating coaches, the generic ones, the family friendly ones, they have no evidence of their own results. Not every pickup artist does either, to be fair, right? A lot of them have no evidence and no results either. But someone like myself, I post infield, approaching women. I post examples of myself, not just approaching women, getting their numbers and even taking them home. I've shown over 10 full clips of that on my channel, like actual pulls. That's something that's very rare. And that's something that's always bothered me. But I have to give some credit. There's this guy, FitX Fearless, who's one of the biggest, most popular red pill type of creators. He seems to talk about physical appearance a lot. He talks about dating dynamics, etc. But he actually showed himself going out and approaching women. So we're going to see at least one example of what a red pill coach, red pill teacher, what they look like when they go out and approach. And this is a guy who talks a lot about how he's maximized his appearance. I mean, I'm not like closely watching his channel, to be clear, but he shows that he's maxed out his appearance. He talks about that a lot. He's a good looking dude. So this is either going to be illuminating in one. We're going to see, does the good looking guy just get it easy, right? Is it like the good looking guy is just positive reaction? The girls are begging to suck his dick, that kind of thing. Or does it not seem to make that much of a difference? And we're going to see what the game of a red pill coach looks like. So without further ado, let's take a look at the footage.
Not off until 11 p.m.
And because this is live, let me know, guys, if you can hear this.
Ladies.
Hold on, it's a lot going on.
No worries.
Sorry.
No worries. Black women. I tried to approach 100 black girls in Miami. They told me no. All right, guys. So I just got done approaching and I learned a lot. I got rejected a bunch of times, but it taught me a lot of things. I've showed you guys my success. Now I'm going to show you guys my failures. I think it's super, super important to have integrity and show you the truth so you don't think that I'm batting 1,000, that I'm perfect. And I'm going to explain to you what I learned from getting rejected. Hey, excuse me.
I agree, and I respect that.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
How you doing today?
Good.
What's your name?
Cassie.
You look good, Cassie. I want to take you out sometime.
So his initial approach is relatively solid. Like, he got her to stop right away, and he came in strong. He didn't come in like, like a bitch, which a lot of guys, they either come in too strong and too aggressive and freak the girl out, or they basically come across as extremely, beta, right? They just come across as not assertive at all. And he's doing a good job so far in this approach at making his intentions clear, having a man to woman kind of energy, but not being overly aggressive.
Cassie.
You look good, Cassie. I want to take you out sometime.
Oh, it's okay. Sorry, I have a boyfriend.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Bye. Oh my God. Excuse me. Excuse me.
It's good, but it's
Nah.
like there wasn't enough sweetness for it.
Hey, excuse me. How's it going? Excuse me. Excuse me.
It's good.
I mean, that one's on the phone, so yeah, hey, shoot your shot. Why not? Always go for it. But the chances of that working out, especially when you're just saying, excuse me, are very low. There are ways. If a girl's on the phone, look, it's a low chance and you might get a negative reaction. But have I pulled girls from that situation? A few times. And the way I did it was basically acknowledging the fact that she's on the phone and saying, hey, just 1 second, tell them you'll call right back. I just want to say one thing. Basically acknowledging the situation as opposed to just ignoring it and expecting her to like get off the phone to talk to some random guy.
But if
Nah.
like this was enough sweetness for me.
Hey, excuse me. How's it going?
Good, how are you?
What's your name?
I'm Vale.
Vale. Where are you from?
I'm from here, but I'm Colombian.
Are you Colombian? Oh, I think you look nice. I can take you out.
No, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so there's a lot to think about there because, I mean, she just said no, thank you, which is kind of, when you hear that, I mean, I've heard that, everyone's heard that. When you hear that, what do you think? You think you're just not good looking enough, right? On some level, she didn't say I have a boyfriend. She didn't say I'm a lesbian. She didn't say, you know, I have genital warts and that's why I'm rejecting you. She just said no, thank you. And so that can feel like a stab to the heart, right? That feels like you're not good enough. You are beta, bro. That's what it feels like, right? You are just not enough of a Chad. This guy is clearly a good looking guy, and yet he's still getting that response. So I think that's something to keep in mind, that no matter who you are, you're going to get reactions like that. Secondly, his game so far, his confidence, it's definitely above average. I wouldn't say it's like a 10 out of 10, but it's definitely better than the average guy. His approach is relatively friendly. He's not overly aggressive, but he's still showing intent, which is good. But he's just going up to her and saying, hey, want to go out? That's a good crutch if you have approach anxiety, to just like get comfortable with approaching. And some girls will say yes, but is that like the optimal strategy, right? Is that the optimal opening line? Absolutely not, right? That's not the best way to go about it. She doesn't know you. She doesn't know anything about why you want to take her out. And it also kind of implies that you don't care who she is, right? You just see her basically as a piece of ass, right? Which, hey, if she really thinks you're attractive and she's available and she's an extrovert, she's the type of girl that's just like, no bullshit. Yeah, I just want to meet a guy and fuck. Okay, that could work. But a lot of women are not going to resonate with that, right? They want to feel like you chose them, not just based on their appearance, but based on their character, based on things you have in common, based on the vibe. And that will make them far more receptive and not feel kind of almost dirty about giving you their number. If they're just like, hey, you're hot, what's your number? A lot of women, especially from more traditional cultures, are going to feel a little dirty about that. So it's not the worst thing. It can work, but it's more of like a beginner exercise to get out of approach anxiety.
No, thank you.
Okay. Have a good one. She knows. We're not even trying to talk to you. Bro, what the fuck? She didn't even look at me, bro. She looked at you. Oh, excuse me. How you doing?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
What's your name?
Sophia.
Sophia. Where you from?
Born in Moscow.
Moscow?
Yes.
What are you doing in Miami?
Just trying.
Also, I want to point out, personally, I don't think sunglasses are a good idea, because I guess it makes you more mysterious in a certain way or whatever. You know, it makes you more cold, but a lot of attraction, a lot of connection, a lot of what makes a girl feel your energy, your presence, your masculinity, whatever you want to call it, a lot of that is through the eyes, and you're just blocking that off. And I think that's going to do more harm than good.
Trying to do some stuff.
Trying to do something. Really?
I'm
You visiting?
No, I actually live here. I
Oh,
just
really?
live here, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. You just moved here?
Okay, in terms of body language, she's giving clear signs of interest right away, right? And something you want to pick up, just the way she is holding herself. And this is something you pick up through approaching a lot of women. You just see the patterns of they tilt their body, they do certain things, play with their hair, et cetera, et cetera. You'll see the patterns of how they act when they're attracted. So this girl's giving a lot of good signs. We'll see how it goes, because he's not really, so far, moving the conversation anywhere interesting. Now, it's okay to be boring a little bit, and sometimes it takes a minute for the ice to be broken. But if you get stuck in that, it starts to feel like an interview. So we'll see where that goes.
Kind of. Long story, but I mean, I lived in Fort Lauderdale. Now I'm back here again, but
Okay, why, how come the move?
break up
Break up.
for the best.
Damn.
So the way she's touching her hands kind of seems like she's a little nervous, but in a good way, right? Not in a bad way, in a good way.
And this might be the stars aligning then.
What's
Oh,
up, Eduardo?
yeah, for sure.
Really? So what do you do for fun?
I was doing insurance, but I'm kind of like more heading towards the real estate route, so I do that, and then
So far, I'm not getting a sense for this guy's personality, like who he really is, anything that's unique or authentic to him, really at all, right? It just feels like he's wearing a mask. It feels like there's a barrier between him and the girl, and I think that's a big part of why these interactions just kind of seem a little bit stale.
but not only fans, just modeling.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right,
like
cool.
commercial and stuff like that.
Where you heading to now?
I was actually gonna go to the mall.
Okay.
Yeah.
You seem like a cool person.
Yeah,
We should hang out.
I have a boyfriend.
Okay.
Like,
No
yeah.
worries. Thank you.
Yeah.
First thing I learned about rejection is most women reject men that come up to them because he's not already pre-qualified. Now, why is this so?
Okay, so I get what he's saying, and being pre-qualified certainly, like if you're a celebrity or you're the DJ at a club, you're pre-qualified. Now all women are more likely to think that you're attractive automatically, right? True, but most women are automatically are going to reject you if you're not pre-qualified. That is not true. That is true if your approach is weak. It's a good percentage, right? It's like maybe half or so, but a good percentage. A lot of women will still be open to the approach if the approach is good. So the interesting thing is he's doing the very red pill kind of thing, which is assuming, okay, a lot of women didn't seem interested. Well, I'm a good looking dude. I have status online. So the reason must be that I'm not pre-qualified, right? He goes into the theory and looks for something that confirms his preconceived notions. And it doesn't seem like he's even considering that his approaches could be better, right? That there's something that could be different about the way he's talking to these women.
When I'm walking on the streets or when I'm, anywhere, I get a lot of choosing signals. Girls look at me, right? But they don't necessarily know who I am. A lot of women have had experiences with men being creepy, men being weird, and women, they like social proof. They want you to be socially proven. So rejection a lot of the times, guys, happens because the woman hasn't pre-qualified you. This is why you will notice that, let's say, for instance, I can get a whole lot of matches on dating apps because I have...
I mean, look, he's only shown 4 approaches. And it's entirely possible because slightly more than half of adult women between 18 and 30 have a boyfriend. So it's entirely possible. I believe it's about 60%. To be fair, some of them think they have a boyfriend. It's really just a situationship. But it's entirely possible. It's not statistically that unlikely that you could approach 4 women who are unavailable in a row. So to draw conclusions that quickly is not very logical.
Set myself up to look a certain way. Yes, the girl might find me attractive. Yes, she might think I look good in person, but
and it is true that dating apps pre-qualify you in the sense that they're showing they're available and they're already right swiping on you, right? So when you get a match, you already have a lot of things, like you have a much lower chance of getting blown off, even though a lot of girls won't respond anyway. So it's true there's a level of pre-qualification there, but what you want to consider is even if you have a very, very good profile, the most attractive women, the 9s and 10s, either don't use dating apps or they have so many matches and so many guys messaging them that it's very hard to stand out. And standing out by approaching in person, if you actually approach well and you have charisma, you banter, you have the right energy, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. If you do that, that's how you end up pulling those kind of girls for the most part.
There's no pre-qualification, and the woman can kind of be a little bit standoffish. So you probably getting rejected thinking, hold up, I'm doing this work, I'm looking good. Why are these girls not paying attention?
But I would say if you're in the category where you don't have much game, right? You're a little bit nervous, but you are good looking and you get really good pictures, then online dating will be a great starting point for you because you'll be able to start getting dates even without having the best game. And then you'll be able to get your feet in the water, right? You'll be able to start getting some success, even though you're a bit awkward, and build some confidence that way. So it is useful if you're in that particular category, especially.
To me, chances are she already has denied you before you came up to her. So you can't let this shit bother you at all. I've approached hundreds of girls. I've been rejected plenty of times. And I know at the end of the day, it cannot affect my confidence because I know what I just said. Chances are I am not already pre-qualified, so allowing you give up. I've met a lot of beautiful girls from approaching. Some girls might be in the mood, some girls might not be. Some girls might be in a hurry, some girls might just be chilling. You don't know exactly what the girl is, what her current mindset state is. So you go up to this girl, you talk to her, she tells you no, and then now you give her, oh, see, I knew it, Fit. You know, approaching sucks. You see, you get rejected too. What's the point of me fucking doing it? Because I know I'm never gonna be perfect.
Yeah, and I really like the mindset, what he's saying here. It's all definitely on point, and I agree 100%.
I'm gonna approach women. If you notice, when I was approaching girls, I was doing it the wrong way, on purpose. I was going up to them, validating them, trying to prove a point, right? And I'm gonna talk about that a little bit later. But chances are, when a woman tells you no, you don't know what her current mind state is, and you haven't been pre-qualified. So a lot of women are gonna tell you no off of default. She's used to guys probably coming up to her, trying to hit on her, and her initial wall barrier is to say no, right? So you can't be super aggressive, you can't be too upset, you can't get too attached to the outcome, which is why I teach you guys to always be outcome independent. So that's the first thing. Most women are gonna reject you. You're gonna get a lot of rejections as part of the game because you haven't been pre-qualified in a certain way. Second thing I learned, guys, was when
the only thing that bothers me about his little speech here is he's not mentioning that really a lot of them is just because they have a boyfriend. Like, it's nothing more complicated than that.
You approach women with validation, they automatically look at you as below them. You guys already know, I've talked about this plenty of times. I did it in my other code approach video. You can go watch it after the video, where I was kind of pre-qualifying the girls myself. When you go up to a woman and you validate her.
So this is interesting because why then in all of his approaches is he kind of coming across that way? Because one thing I noticed is he kind of lacks any edginess. He's not disagreeable at all. He's not really teasing the girls. He's not being challenging. He's qualifying the girls very much, right? He's like showing interest. Oh, very cool. What do you do? Nothing wrong with that, but there isn't any sense of challenging her, of, maybe him not being interested, of push, pull, hot and cold, any of those kinds of things, of like a dominant, challenging energy. Now, you do want to be friendly and positive and charming, but you want to mix that with some degree of that other side where you're challenging and you come across as dominant and like you're taking control. And he's kind of a little bit more on the supplicative type of conversation, the type of energy. And that's a big part of the reason why these women, like he's saying, are not giving him the response that he wants. But if he's aware of that, why is he doing it?
You say, hey, you look good. Hey, this. Hey, you're beautiful. Hey, they automatically look at the dynamic as this. She's up here, you're down here. And even if the woman might think you're...
That's not entirely true also, because it's really about the way you carry yourself. It's about the eye contact, which he's wearing sunglasses, which kind of takes that away. But it's about your voice. It's about your body language. What you say is one element, but it's not even the biggest one, because you can go up to a girl and tell her she's hot in a way where you come across as that she's going to like you. Like, you have every expectation of success and that she is the kind of girl that you're used to being with, and that you have no fear, no anxiety about being rejected whatsoever, and you're not attached and not needy. Or you can say the same thing and come across as a total needy, nerdy bitch. It just depends on the way you carry yourself. So yes, what you say is a factor, and going direct has pros and cons, but the way he's talking to these women is a little bit soft, right? That's the way I would describe it. It's a little bit soft. What's the whole internet thing? Like soft boy? It's a little bit like that. And I'd say he should focus more on that than just the verbals of what he's saying.
attractive, she now thinks her shit doesn't stink. She now is carrying herself like, oh, you want me, you want to fuck with me. And as a matter of fact, I will go a step further and say this. When you work on yourself and you look good, and the first thing you're doing when you're validating a woman, she thinks something is wrong with you. I fucking guarantee you. Think about it like this, right? I'm fit, fearless, I'm a handsome guy in great shape, etc., etc. I go up to a girl and the first thing I tell her is, hey, you look good. Hey, you beautiful. Hey, I'd like to take you out. I was doing that shit on purpose to prove a point. The girl's like, hold the fuck up. I mean, he looks good, but why he coming up to me validating me like that? What the fuck is wrong with him? He don't already get girls? The fucking gurus on the internet will have you believe, oh, it doesn't matter what you say to the woman. Yes, the fuck it does. Because she can like you and then you talk your way out of the motherfucker. You make yourself look weaker. Why would a man who already has options be leading with validation? Think about it, right? If you're a guy and a super beautiful girl is just all over you, she's just pursuing you, bombarding you with messages and calls, you might think what? Hold up, something ain't right here. This might be too good to be true. That's what the girls are thinking. A lot of the times when you've done the work and you are approaching girls and you leave with a compliment.
I mean, that's true, but not if a girl just came up to me and gave a compliment. Yeah, if she's showering me and being like, you know, aggressive and needy and all that, but that's not what this is.
They think this is too good to be true. Something has to be wrong with him. He has to be a creep. So they automatically like, hold up, red flag, wall up, a guy that looks this good, he can come up to me and have a conversation, but he shouldn't be pressing me like that. He shouldn't be pushing me like that. He shouldn't be that into me so quickly. Because if he look good, he should already get girls. I know I look good as a woman, but damn, you telling me that I'm the most beautiful girl he ever seen? So
He didn't say that.
Automatically make the woman start to question your value. That's what I'm saying. When you leave with a compliment, when you validate, she starts to question your value. I'm telling you guys to dress well. I'm telling you guys to look your best. I'm telling you guys to be in great shape, do all of these things, all the while working on approaching women and getting better with women. Well, you don't want to shoot your own self in the foot by going up to her and the first thing you do is validate. She knows when you go up to her that you find her attractive. That's why you're talking to her. You don't have to spit it out. The best way to approach, I have said it and I will say it again.
I don't understand why that's all he's doing in all of the approaches he's showing then. You know, if he wants to make an example of what not to do, I understand that. I've done that. But then why wouldn't you also show a bunch of examples of what the good approaches look like? So that's a little odd. It kind of seems like it might be a rationalization, but something doesn't quite make sense there to me.
And this video proves my motherfucking point. When you go up to women and you validate them, they look at you as being below them. They look at you as something ain't right. They look at you and like, well, I got the leverage now. Dating is all about leverage, bro. You could try to deny it all you want to. It's all about leverage. Somebody has to like somebody else more. Ain't no such thing as fucking equality. You and her, one of you motherfuckers gotta like the other person more. And you gotta make sure it's her liking you more. Because if you like her more, she won't respect you. She won't feel like you're a kid. For a large majority, a good portion of the time.
Is there no more infield? He only showed, what, 4 approaches? Where's the 100 approaches?
From a woman thinking that something ain't right with you. Why are you so eager and so interested so fast? All right, guys, the third thing I learned from approaching is that I need to approach more. Even me, a guy who's approached hundreds of girls, approaching needs to be a part of your life. Even me, all the approaches I've done, right? Today when I went out there, I kind of felt anxious as well. The anxiety, it never completely goes away. You might think I'm perfect, you might think I'm superhuman because I make content, but I'm just a guy. I'm a normal person, guys.
It never completely goes away permanently, I agree, but it does go away in a shorter term. So in the course of a night, if you talk to a bunch of women, eventually the anxiety can go away completely. Or in the course of a month, if you're going out and approaching a lot, it will go away completely while you're doing that regularly. And then if you take a break or whatever, then it comes back. But in terms of a state, yes, anxiety can go away completely. It just doesn't permanently go away forever.
You should be able to do this frequently. Make it a part of your life and you will notice that approaching is gonna become more and more easy for you. Okay? And that's it, guys. This is what I've learned from being rejected plenty of times. I've been rejected hundreds of times. I just got rejected even more. I'm still here. I'm still confident. It doesn't move me. So you get out there, approach, get more confident. As long
Wow, that's a little disappointing. So what I really want to see is his overall stats. He says 100, and I get it. That's going to get clicks on YouTube, sure. Obviously, this guy knows what he's doing in terms of marketing, but he says 100. He showed 4 or 5. And hey, that's still more than any other red pill coach I can think of. So I'll give him that. They mostly show 0. But what was his overall stats? 100 women all rejected him that way? I really doubt that's true. And I think that's actually kind of actively misleading people, because that approach, it wasn't ideal, but it wasn't terrible. Like, he's saying the verbals are what was bad about it. The verbals weren't amazing, but also the nonverbal communication, the vibe of his approaches, they were okay, but they weren't amazing. They weren't awful, right? It wasn't like terrible. And at least some of the women, because I've had plenty of clients who are not nearly as good looking of him, who are still as him, who are still nervous, still shy, and they approach girls, ask for their numbers, and have, out of 100 approaches, they're going to not get rejected by 100. That would be an extreme outlier. So I like some of the philosophy he's saying. Some of it makes a lot of sense. Some of it seemed kind of out of left field and not true. Some of it was good. But when someone watches that video, what are they going to think? This good-looking dude who's in great shape, has, a big social media following, all those things. He approached 100 women and they all rejected him? Wow, approaching must suck. I'm just going to give up on that, right? That's how people are going to take it. A lot of people are going to see that and feel like it's pointless, because that's what he said. He said he did 100 approaches and they all rejected him. He did not clarify. I would be much less bothered by the video if he clarified, well, at least 5 or 10 gave me their numbers, right? And I doubt he actually did the 100 approaches. He's talking about maybe in his entire life he did 100. I don't know. But to say he got rejected by 100 women when he only shows 5 is definitely going to be disencouraging and misleading to a lot of people. And so I'm not a big fan of that. Maybe he didn't do that on purpose, but that's the way people are going to take it. And if you did 100 approaches the way he did those approaches, you're going to get some numbers. Some girls are going to be receptive. It might not be the highest percentage, but at least out of 100, you'd probably get 10, 20 numbers. Even if you're not good looking, even if you're not charismatic, even if your game is not on point and you're being very direct, like he said. So this video, it has some interesting insights. There's some things he says that I definitely agree with. But it kind of shows when you fixate on the surface level, which is what the red pill community kind of encourages and talks about perhaps a little too much. When you fixate too much on looks and status and not qualifying or validating women, being like, I can't qualify her. There's been plenty of women who I slept with who the approach, I qualified them, right? It's not this big deal. It's much more about the way that you carry yourself and the way that you come across as basically having the combination of strong desire, strong intent, like you really want her genuinely, not in a needy way, but in a genuine way. And then your ability to be grounded, unreactive, non-needy at the same time. So not pushy, not like, I'll be really upset if you reject me, but being able to put yourself out there, take the lead without seeming like someone who would get butthurt or who's already decided no matter what she says, you want to sleep with her, who has no standards. It's the balance of those two things. There's a lot more to it, but I think in a lot of ways he's kind of missing the point. And, his cold approach knowledge is still at a lower level, right? For him to be talking like he's some, high level expert. I respect that he's going out and approaching, but there are a lot of things about his message that I disagree with. And you can say, well, who are you to talk about this? Well, I've shown a number of polls, including a fitness model, including, any kind of hot girl that you can think of. I've shown myself taking them home on camera, right? I've shown all the way from approaching them to taking them home. And I've shown making out. I've shown, whatever it is. I've shown that, as opposed to just, saying it's 100 and actually showing 5 approaches where they rejected me. If you want to see all of those, they're not currently on YouTube. There's a couple clips from those you can find on YouTube, but those are not on YouTube because you can't put that kind of stuff on YouTube without getting banned. That just is what it is. A number of, everyone from Street Attraction, you probably don't even remember them, but they were banned for showing too much infield. Pickup Alpha was banned for showing too much infield of pulls, stuff like that. But if you do want to see actual game all the way from approaching to taking the girl home, you want to see exactly how that works and see me break down every step of the interactions so you can know exactly the strategy involved in making that happen in a way that comes across as authentic, that is not pushy, that is very effortless, then you can click the link below to get a copy of my online course, God Mode, which has over 5 hours of infield footage broken down. And so it's not 5 approaches that lasted 20 seconds and that's like the whole game that I'm showing. It goes much more in depth. So you can see what approaching at a high level, at a level that gets real results, what it looks like, and not just get the theory and the philosophy and go a level beyond that.